I love Borderlands. I really do. However, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that the story of Borderlands 3 left a lot to be desired. There are a ton of issues with the story, like the budding conflict between Troy and Tyree not leading anywhere.
I'm the siren. He's just a parasite.
But I think people's main gripe with the plot of this game is that our favorite characters are nowhere to be found. Characters like Axton, Salvador, Gage, Athena, and my personal favorite Borderlands character, Fiona, who was from Tales from the Borderlands, are mysteriously missing. This was super weird to me because her whole arc in Tales was setting her up to be a Vault Hunter.
You think so? Fiona the Vault Hunter. I kinda like it.
That, coupled with the fact that all the other main Tales characters were present in Borderlands 3, what with Reese and Vaughn being major NPCs and a picture of Sasha being on Reese's desk, Fiona's absence makes no sense to me. However, there are some clues as to where she may be, which I will be discussing in this video, as you've probably surmised from the title. Let's get cracking! The most concrete evidence we have as to Fiona's whereabouts comes from an episode of the Borderlands show, which featured Randy Varnell, the head of Gearbox's story group, who said the following.
We have Reese and I love him, but where's Fiona?
Fiona is very happily doing Fiona things.
Okay.
It's
a big universe.
It is a big universe, and so can't talk about where Fiona is.
Okay, I like that.
It could very well be that this was simply scrambling for an answer as they haven't actually considered where she is, but I'm choosing to believe that this means Gearbox actually has plans for Fiona in the future. It also confirms one thing: she's alive, which is awesome. The Fiona things part could imply that she's vault hunting with Athena, who is also not present in Borderlands 3, but certain details that will be discussed later in this video suggest otherwise. First things first, to figure out what happened to Fiona, we first must discuss what happened to the Vault of the Traveler. Reese doesn't mention it at all, besides calling himself a lapsed Vault Hunter, and Vaughn talks about it briefly when discussing how he and Reese grew apart.
Oh, by the way, how is my old buddy Reese doing? We haven't really talked much since we took out the Traveler and opened up a vault together. We just kind of grew apart. That happens sometimes when you're adulting and you go one direction, and then things get in the way. You have a schedule, you have a family of rocks. He went full corporate, I guess, and I'm just real.
Myriad also mentions it in the Iridian writing Secrets.
With Pandora sealed and the Destroyer chained within, the greatest of the Iridian secrets is put to rest. It would be folly for me to think, though, that this is the last of them. There are countless other wonders or tears they hid across the stars before my time. For every grave ward, traveler, or timekeeper, there are surely a dozen more slumbering in forgotten vaults.
Sadly, none of these tidbits give us any clues as to what the Traveler actually is and what could be housed inside its vault. However, we can try and surmise what the vault houses by examining the other vaults in the series and trying to find common threads. Each vault we've seen houses some sort of gift. The Vault of the Rampager contains the Iridian Resonator, the thing we use to break Iridium on dead anointeds or around certain chests. The Vault of the Grave Ward holds the Iridian Synchronizer, which is what allows us to use artifacts. The Vault of the Architects contains the Iridian Analyzer, which allows us to decipher Nereid's messages, and the Vault of the Destroyer houses the Iridian Ascensionator, which is what allows us to access Mayhem mode. Additionally, the Vault of Necrotafeo contains the Iridian Replicator, otherwise known as the Gun, and in the pre-sequel we enter the Vault of the Sentinel, which has an artifact inside, granting Jack the knowledge of the warrior and the events of Borderlands 2.
Oh my God! I get it! I understand! I understand everything!
This leads me to believe that the Vault of the Traveler contains something similar. Upon opening the chest within the Vault of the Traveler, Reese and Fiona disappear as a white light glows around them. We can assume there was some kind of gift along the lines of the other vaults inside. Because of the Traveler's teleportation powers, lots of fans believe that Reese and Fiona would be granted powers of a similar nature. However, we don't see any signs of this in Reese. It's possible that Reese is either hiding these powers or that only Fiona was given them. It's even possible that Fiona is unable to control these powers and is constantly teleporting across the universe against her will. However, this doesn't seem all that likely to me, as I doubt the vault would only give powers to one of the people that opened it. And I also don't see Reese hiding powers and or being able to control them more than Fiona. It also doesn't sound like Fiona happily doing Fiona things, emphasis on happily, so I doubt that's the case. However, that's not to say that teleportation is in some way involved. In Alice headquarters, there's an echo titled Friends in Invisible Places. It depicts Reese looking for a woman identified as her, whom he is looking for with Zero.
Zero, tell me you found something. Anything at all?
My spies are searching, but we have come up empty. There's no sign of her.
Damn it! Where the hell would... I've been so busy with this stupid war. Maybe I could have... I don't know. Done something to help?
It is not your fault. No one vanishes from sight who wants to be found.
A lot of people seem to think this is about Sasha because of Reese's line where he says he's sad about his love life, but I don't think this is the case.
Have I ever been in love? Thanks for asking. Sort of personal, though, you know, because you asked. I'm kind of sad now.
Judging from the photo of her on his desk, which was taken after Tales, which we can deduce from the extra texturing on her face, I'm pretty sure they're still in touch. I believe Reese's line is because Sasha has recently broken up with him, and he's sad about that. It also makes more sense for Sasha's character, as all throughout Tales she's depicted as incredibly anti-corporate, much more than Fiona, so it doesn't make sense for her to be dating the CEO of a mega corporation like Atlas.
I mean, what's it like being an emotionless cog spinning away, day after day, for the most bloodthirsty, brutal, soul-crushing, love-defying corporation in the whole wide universe?
I also think she's cuter with August, but that's beside the point.
August!
Anyway, back to the Echo. Fiona being missing just makes sense. It's very possible that the Vault of the Traveler sent her and Reese different places upon opening the vault. Reese was able to return to Promethea and get Atlas up and running, but Fiona wasn't, and Reese hasn't been able to find her since opening the vault. This also makes sense as far as the timeline, as Reese sounds incredibly weary in the Echo, implying that Fiona has been missing for a long while. This corresponds with the 6 to 7 year time skip between episode 5 of Tales and the beginning of Borderlands 3. As for what Gearbox might do with Fiona in the future, we aren't sure. Personally, I'm hoping for a Tales-focused DLC about finding her, as the Friends in Invisible Places Echo appears to be setting that up. I would love to see the Caravan crew reunite, with Reese and Vaughn actually talking to each other instead of just mentioning each other in passing. Either way, I think Fiona is too important of a character for Gearbox to ignore. I'm confident that Fiona will be included in some sort of upcoming DLC, and I'm so excited to see her. I really hope Gearbox doesn't butcher the way they butchered Vaughn.